Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're uncovering 5 incredible US coins that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Some of these coins may be hiding in your collection, or even in your pocket change. We're talking about the legendary 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar, the fascinating 2000 P Sacagawea $1, the rare and valuable 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial quarter, the unexpected 1971 Elizabeth II new pence coin, and a surprising treasure, the 1964 SMS Lincoln Memorial penny. Each of these coins has a unique story, from special minting errors to rare varieties that have sold for over $50,000 at auction. We'll break down the history, key features, and what makes these coins so valuable. So, if you're a collector or just curious about hidden treasures, stick around, because you won't want to miss a single detail. We're starting with a true American classic 1976 Eisenhower $1 coin. This coin isn't just a piece of history, it's a hidden treasure that could be worth up to $50,000 or more if you find the right variety. Let's dig into the details. The Eisenhower dollar, affectionately called the Ike dollar, was minted from 1971 to 1978 and was the last large-size dollar coin produced by the U.S. Mint. The Bicentennial version, struck in 1975 and 1976, was issued to celebrate America's 200th anniversary. These coins feature a special reverse design, a bold image of the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, symbolizing both American independence and the nation's achievements in space exploration. The obverse, of course, features President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander of World War II and the 34th President of the United States. Most bicentennial Eisenhower dollars were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, but the U.S. Mint also released a special 40% silver-clad version for collectors. These silver coins were produced at the San Francisco Mint and can be identified by the S mint mark on the obverse. If you come across one of these silver Ikes in high grade, you could be looking at a coin worth thousands. A 1976 silver Eisenhower dollar in MS-69 condition once sold for over $20,000 at auction. But here's where things get really exciting: errors and varieties. Collectors love rare errors, and bicentennial Ike dollars have some fascinating ones. One of the most valuable is the 1976 D Type II Eisenhower dollar with a double die obverse. This variety, which shows noticeable doubling in the word Liberty and Eisenhower's profile, has been known to fetch upwards of $50,000 in top condition. Another rare error is the missing clad layer, where the coin appears completely copper-toned on one side due to the outer nickel layer not being applied correctly. These errors are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. So, what should you look for when hunting for a valuable bicentennial Eisenhower dollar? First, check the mint mark. If you find an S mint mark, it's likely silver. Next, examine the coin's condition. A well-preserved Ike dollar with no scratches or marks can be worth significantly more. An MS-65 graded 1976 silver proof can fetch around $200 to $500, while a perfect MS-70 could easily exceed $10,000. But the real money is in the rare errors, and high-grade business strikes those can reach tens of thousands at auction. If you have one of these 1976 Eisenhower dollars, take a close look. It might be a hidden gem. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious numismatist, this is one coin you don't want to overlook. Next on our list is a modern coin that shocked collectors, and it was discovered to be worth a fortune: the 2000 P Sacagawea $1 coin. While most of these coins are only worth their face value, certain rare varieties and mule errors have sold for over $70,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, a simple dollar coin that could make you rich. Let's take a closer look at why some of these coins are so valuable. The Sacagawea dollar was introduced in 2000 as a replacement for the Susan B. Anthony dollar, which had been unpopular with the public. Designed by artist Glenna Goodacker, the obverse of the coin features Sacagawea, the Native American woman who played a crucial role as a guide and interpreter for the Lewis and Clark expedition. She is shown with her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, on her back. The reverse, designed by Thomas D. Rogers Sr., displays a majestic eagle in flight, symbolizing freedom and the spirit of exploration. Most Sacagawea dollars were struck in a golden-colored manganese brass alloy, but what makes the 2000p Sacagawea dollar so special is the presence of some extremely rare mint errors, especially the Washington quarter mule error. This error occurred when the Sacagawea obverse die was mistakenly paired with the reverse die of a state quarter instead of the proper eagle design. Only around 20 of these coins are known to exist, making them one of the most valuable modern U.S. coin errors ever found. In auctions, these mule errors have sold for over $70,000, with some even exceeding $100,000 in pristine condition. If you ever find a Sacagawea dollar with a Washington quarter reverse, you're looking at a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Even if you don't have a mule error, certain high-grade Sacagawea dollars can still bring in solid money. A 2000p in MS-68 condition can sell for $5,000 to $10,000, and even regular proof versions can fetch decent prices. The key is condition. If your coin is free of scratches, bag marks, or discoloration, it could be worth grading. So, what should you do if you find one? First, check for the quarter reverse error. This is the jackpot. If your coin looks normal but is in pristine, uncirculated condition, it might still be worth grading. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC can help verify its authenticity and give you an accurate valuation. Next up is a coin that almost everyone has seen at some point. The 1976 Bicentennial quarter. But what most people don't realize is that some of these quarters can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. If you've ever thought this was just another ordinary quarter, think again. Certain varieties and rare errors have turned this coin into a collector's dream. Let's break down the history, key details, and what makes some of these quarters worth a fortune. The Bicentennial quarter was minted in 1975 and 1976 to celebrate America's 200th anniversary. Unlike regular quarters, it features a special reverse design by artist Jack L. Ahr, depicting a drummer boy with a torch and 13 stars, symbolizing the original colonies. The obverse, designed by John Flanagan, still features George Washington, but with a dual-date inscription, 1776 to 1976 foot, instead of a single year. Millions of these quarters were struck, but only a few are worth serious money. So, what makes them valuable? The first thing to check is the mint mark. The U.S. Mint struck these quarters at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. But the real money is in the 40% silver versions, which were only minted in San Francisco. These coins were sold in collector's sets and never meant for circulation. If you find a 40% silver Bicentennial quarter, even in circulated condition, it could be worth $300 to $900. But in high grades like MS-69 or MS-70, these coins have sold for over $30,000. Now, here's where things get really exciting: rare errors and varieties. One of the most valuable is the double die obverse, where you can see noticeable doubling in Liberty and Washington's profile. These quarters can fetch anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000, depending on condition. Another highly sought-after error is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing due to a misaligned die. Some extreme off-center strikes have sold for over $25,000. Another rare error is the missing clad layer, where the outer nickel layer wasn't applied properly, leaving the coin with a copper-colored surface on one side. If you ever find one of these in top condition, you could be looking at a coin worth thousands of dollars. So, how do you know if you have a valuable Bicentennial quarter? First, check for silver. If your coin has a slightly different luster and weighs around 5.75 grams instead of the standard 5.67 grams, it could be silver. Next, inspect it for errors. Any doubling, misalignment, or missing details could significantly increase its value. And finally, consider getting it graded. An uncirculated, high-grade example is always worth more. 1976 Bicentennial quarter is one of the most iconic U.S. coins ever made, and while most are only worth 25 cents, some can sell for life-changing amounts. If you have one, check it carefully. You might be holding a hidden fortune. Our next coin isn't from the United States, but it has still captured the attention of collectors worldwide: the 1971 Elizabeth II new pence coin. While it might look like an ordinary British coin, certain rare varieties and high-grade specimens have sold for thousands of dollars. In fact, some collectors have paid over $10,000 for the right version of this coin. But what makes it so valuable? Let's take a closer look. In 1971, the United Kingdom officially switched to a decimal currency system, replacing the old pounds, shillings, and pence with a simpler system of 100 pence to the pound. This transition led to the creation of the new pence series, including the 1971 2 new pence coin. The obverse features a right-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, which was used on British coins from 1968 to 1984. The reverse, designed by Christopher Ironside, showcases the Prince of Wales's feathers, a heraldic badge consisting of 3 ostrich feathers within a coronet, along with the denomination 2 new pence. So, why is this coin valuable? Well, for starters, while millions were minted, finding a flawless, uncirculated example is incredibly rare. Most circulated examples are only worth face value, but an MS-65 or MS-66 specimen can be worth hundreds or even thousands at auction. In fact, a perfectly graded MS-67 1971 2 new pence coin once sold for over $3,000. But the real treasures lie in error coins. One of the most valuable errors is the off-metal strike, where the coin was accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, such as a bronze or even a US coin blank. These rare pieces can sell for over $10,000, depending on their uniqueness and condition. Another sought-after error is the double-struck variety, where the coin was struck twice, creating a noticeable doubling of the design elements. If you ever find a 1971 new pence with doubling or a strange metal composition, you might be holding a rare and valuable coin. One way to check for off-metal errors is by weighing your coin. A standard 1971 2 new pence should weigh 7.12 grams. If yours is significantly lighter or heavier, it could be a rare variety worth a small fortune. If you believe you have a valuable 1971 2 new pence coin, consider getting it professionally graded by NGC or PCGS. A well-preserved, high-grade coin with a unique error could fetch thousands at auction. The 1971 Elizabeth II new pence coin is a perfect example of how even ordinary-looking coins can hold incredible value. If you have one, take a closer look. You might just have a rare error worth thousands. Our final coin is one of the rarest and most mysterious pennies ever struck by the U.S. Mint, the 1964 SMS Lincoln Memorial Penny. While millions of 1964 pennies were produced, only a handful of these special SMS, special mint set, versions exist. And get this, one of these ultra-rare pennies has sold for over $70,000 at auction, but why are they so valuable? And how can you tell if you have one? Let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny. The Lincoln Memorial Penny was introduced in 1959, replacing the wheat cent. Designed by Frank Gasparo, the reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, honoring the 16th President of the United States. The obverse still carries the classic portrait of Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner. In 1964, billions of pennies were struck for circulation, but a very small number, believed to be fewer than 30 examples, were struck with an ultra-high-quality SMS finish, making them one of the rarest U.S. coins in existence. So, what exactly is an SMS coin? The term Special Mint Set, SMS, refers to a unique type of strike that was intended to be a middle ground between proof and regular circulation coins. These coins have a distinct satin finish, sharper details, and fewer marks compared to regular business strike coins. But here's the real mystery: no official 1964 SMS sets were ever released to the public. So how did these coins even come into existence? Many experts believe that the 1964 SMS coins were part of an experimental striking process, possibly created by the Mint while transitioning from proof sets to special mint sets in 1965. Some theories suggest that they were produced for high-ranking officials or as test pieces for future SMS coins. Regardless of their origin, they remain one of the biggest mysteries in American numismatics. Now, let's talk value. Because of their extreme rarity, 1964 SMS Lincoln pennies have sold for huge amounts at auction. One of the finest examples ever graded, an SP-68 red, sold for an astonishing $70,500. Even lower-graded examples in SP-65 or SP-66 have been known to sell for $10,000 to $20,000. So, how can you tell if you have one? Here are the key features to look for. Satin-like finish. Unlike standard pennies, SMS coins have a smooth, satin texture, not a mirror-like proof surface. Sharp details. The strike is much stronger, especially in areas like Lincoln's hair and the memorial's columns. Lack of contact marks. Since these coins were specially struck, they tend to have fewer nicks and scratches than regular cents. Squared-off rims. The edges appear sharper and more refined compared to regular 1964 cents. If you suspect you have a 1964 SMS penny, it's crucial to get it professionally authenticated. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC can determine if your coin is an SMS variety, and that certification could mean the difference between a regular 1-cent coin and a $50,000 payday. The 1964 SMS Lincoln Memorial penny is proof that sometimes, the rarest treasures aren't the oldest, they're the ones with a story. Could you have one hiding in your collection? If so, you might be holding one of the most valuable modern pennies ever discovered. And that wraps up our list of 5 incredibly valuable coins that could be worth thousands. From the Bicentennial quarter to the mysterious 1964 SMS penny, these coins prove that rare finds are still out there. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of Coins Action. And let us know in the comments, do you have any of these coins? See you next time.